Okay, we're back and looking at blinks with this guy. Doing something with the eyelids. Now, we've got a few options. Options are we can use this controller and make another one and call it blink. Right, kind of going through this. We could say blink. And using the Y value, moving up and down, we can say the slice from and slice to can be linked or wired to this master, and that'll give us this type of movement on the actual spheres. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is very similar, but it maybe instead of using this, we could actually just add a parameter to this object. So we know if we're going to be moving our eyes around, this could be our eye thing. Like all of our eye stuff could be controlled by this one little piece, because we've got eye movement, we have individual eye movement, and maybe we also have blinks on this one. So, we already know how to add master and slave using this controller. Maybe I'll show you a different way on how to do this. So we're going to add a parameter to this guy. Right now we have a parameter in here, and that's the radius. Okay, so there's nothing else. I want to add a custom parameter, and I'll go in and say animation parameter editor. So in this parameter editor, I've got this testing attribute. So this is what I'm making right now. It's called param1. So I might want to call this blink. Oop, hold on. I just screwed something up here. And let's get back to that. There we go. All right, parameter 1, blink. If I can spell right. Blink. There we go. Now you can see down here it says blink. It also says 0.0, and I can go to whatever I want. But I don't really need it for that. I might want to use it with a slider instead of this dial. There's a couple things that we could use. Anyway, we've got spinner types, we have sliders. So we could say it's going to blink this way. Okay. So we do have some options. We do have some parameter types as well. So if we did, let's say a %, and we could just keep it on this type of blink here, but I'd rather use some type of slider, and I'm going to make this vertical. Okay, and I want to start it off kind of in the middle. So I've got from 0 to 100, but I want the default to be at about 25. Okay, maybe 50. Actually, I guess it's going to be more like 75, because this is about 3/4 open. Okay, and I want to be able to blink and bring this all the way down. So this will be fine as it is. So I can add this. So I'm going to add to the parameters. And I've got custom attribute on this object, so now I can blink this up and down. So that will be our new master, and the slave will be the slice features from these two, or the slice parameters from these two spheres. So let's open up Reaction Manager. Okay, and I'm going to find the master on here. So object circle, custom attributes, blink. Okay, and I'll show selected. There it is, blink. Now I need to find the slaves, and we know that's these two objects. So object sphere, slice from, slice to, on both eyes. Now we could do this on separate master slave, so we could have more of a individual blinks. For now, we're being efficient, and we're just going to make them twin. We're going to have them do exactly the same type of motion. So you can see the kind of a mess down here with a bunch of different states. I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to hit create. few times, with the top one being my neutral. This one is going to be my open. So I'm going to say, looks like there's already the value. Remember, the value was 75 for default, 100 for open, and 0 for blink, kind of closed. So I need to go to 100 on this. This one will be at 0. So what happens when this state goes to 100? Well, I'll show you something that makes it a bit easier. I'm going to move this up to 100. And then I'm going to move it down to 0. And then I'll move it back to 75. I'm just going to copy over this keyframe back to 30. And you can see how that slider is going to move up and down on us. So now it's animated. Great. Now I'm going to go to 100 where it's animated. I'm going to go to this keyframe, and I know that it's at 100. So I can go in here, find the state that says 100. This is open. And by clicking and dragging on these, I can actually get the slice parameters to change for us. So I'm going to click and drag up and down. See what's happening. So remember, I'm going to be opening the eyes. So I actually want to open this up almost as wide as I can. So let's say I'm going to go to -160. That means on the other side I'm going to do -160 as well. And then for the upper lid, I want to open that up extremely wide also. Okay, so it looks like I've got, we'll say 10 degrees. And we'll say 10 degrees. I think those bottom lids could actually go a little bit farther, so we'll really stretch these open here. Okay, we'll say -170 and -170. Okay, now that goes from default to open. Now we need to go to closed. So let's go to the closed one, which is 0. Do the same thing. How far up do I want to go when I do closed? Well, let's say we're going to go to -120. And this will be also the same, -120. And these ones are going to come down pretty far. Something about there. If you go too far, you got to be careful. So, let's see. I'll drop this one down as well to roughly about the same. Doesn't have to be really perfect, but whatever. We'll say -119, -119. All right, done. So now, using this parameter, I find in the side, I have blink control, which is pretty cool. So I can have both of them blink at the same time. I don't necessarily need to make a control over here, but you can make a controller. This is just an option. It doesn't have to be this way. It's just an option. So I'm going to delete these ones, delete these ones. I can delete that first one also. I'll turn off auto key. Now, what can we do with this? Let's have a fun, make a quick little face. Maybe he's going to have a bit of a smile. I'm going to close his mouth. I'm going to move his eyes to the side. He's going to look right at you guys. And then I'm going to maybe give him that mysterious look. There, he's got kind of a suave, debonair look. Okay? So, already getting some interesting stuff with this. I'm getting inspired already to start doing some animating. Okay? So, pretty easy stuff. Take your time with this. You can have some fun. Okay? See you in the next video.